Hello, and welcome to episode 77 of Prog Review. And today, if you haven't read the description, we're talking about Squackett. Oh, God. Now, I don't know if you just noticed them, but every time I say the word Squackett, oh, God, I have to exclaim. It's just like an auto response. What can I say? They've fused their names together to create an abomination. But before that, I better take the thumbnail picture. Oh, shiny. Let's do that again. That should do it. So yeah, meeting of minds. Chris Squire, Steve Hackett, Squackett. Oh God. But let me put your mind at rest before we actually start. We've had prog collaborations in the past that have yielded 24 carat stinkers. Asia, GTR, the second album from UK. Those are just a few examples. But the worst thing about this album, or collaboration, or whatever you want to call it, is the actual name itself. Fusing their names together, it wasn't a clever idea, and it just renders it sounding like a moniker that sounds like a 1950s euphemism for a sexually transmitted disease. When Cousin Bert came back from the war, he was never the same, He hooked up with a lady of ill repute and came down with a nasty case of the Squacketts. The title track opens the album. If you've been following Steve Hackett's recent solo career, you'll be pleasantly surprised, because it really does sound like this is an extension of his solo career. Aided by long-term tunesmith Roger King, he of the keyboards, it really does sound like another Steve Hackett album. The only contribution from Squire at this stage is his thunderous bass, though I'm sure there are some backing vocals buried in the mix. The opening track is standard Hackett, complete with soaring guitar and iffy vocal harmonies. It's good fun though, and it begins the album at a rollicking pace. Tall Ships begins with acoustic guitar, and then we're back to Hackett by numbers. Thudding drums, meaty bass from Mr. Squire himself, and some nice embellishments from Hackett. This time around though, notice I paused. I was just thinking, because my light's flickering. Oh yeah, keep the mistakes in. This time around, Squire handles the vocal duties. At least I think it's Squire, because I don't know if they've double tracked the vocals, and it could be either of them, or both of them, or neither of them. I don't know. But it's left me a bit confusing. But again, the song itself wouldn't be amiss, from a Hackett solo album. This is what I'm getting. This is the theme of the review. Hope you're making notes. This is followed by The Divided Self, which utilises a lyric that tries to be clever. They try to put a little bit of wordplay in there, but if you actually sat down and read them, you'll wince in places at its clumsiness. You get that a lot with Hackett. Or is it Squire? Who knows who wrote the lyrics? I don't. But there's some nice guitar going on, and it has a really nice 12-string, I think. Email. Nice 12-string motif. I should really turn that off when I do these, shouldn't I? It's not going well. Put yourself together, man. It's a really nice guitar on it, with this 12-string motif that plays, and I think that motif could have been developed more, because it's really nice. It's a mellow track, and I'm just sitting back digging Hackett's playing on this. My only complaint is that the vocal ending should have been excised, because it's just awful. It lets the rest of the song down, and big props for the reuse of the Optigan again. I love that instrument. It's fantastic. Then things go decidedly sci-fi as Squire sings about aliens from the future coming back on historical trips to our past or future or present, I don't know, to learn about themselves. The music's quite nice actually. It's a sumptuous bed in which to lie, but I don't think the lyric suits it. I mean, It is a little bit trite in places. It reminds me of, arriving UFO, that kind of way. But yeah, the words and the music didn't really gel. But the song's nice. It's a nice song, and with different lyrics, it could have made a very powerful ballad. Sea of Smiles has some interesting ethnic percussion running through it, which kind of reminded me of a dole that's made in Japan. And again, it's typical Hackett with added Squire bass work. The chorus takes off, and instantly it reminds you of Hackett. I keep saying Hackett. Hackett's earlier work. Think of Spectral Maudlins, Defector, that period, and it's good stuff. Then there's more gentle acoustic guitar that leads us into the summer backwards, and Hackett again delivers trademarked multi-track wispy vocals, and there's a familiar piece of backwards guitar in there as well. Makes it all sound rather spiffy, and it's it's very pleasant and evokes a summer's day, and there's nothing wrong with it. Can't complain. Nothing offensive. It's all right. Then we move up a gear for Storm Chaser. Hey, but you didn't see that coming. I mean, it wasn't going to be a laid back number, was it? It had to be another rollicking piece. And it's a moody, lurching piece of rock. It reminds you of it's like Tubehead and those loud songs that Hackett does also well. And but the problem was I wasn't particularly grabbed by it because I felt I'd heard it before. And then we have more mellowness in the form of Can't Stop the Rain, with Squire holding down the lead vocals. And again, what I like about this album is, despite its overall familiarity, it does have different styles of music. It goes up a gear, down, things speed up, slow down, and so you get a nice pacing. There's a nice pacing to it, and this song's nice. Can't complain. It's perfectly inoffensive. It's a nice little song. This is it. It's a nice album. I don't like using the nice word. Nice is for biscuits. Huh? Nice is a biscuit. I don't like, but it is. It's a very pleasant album. And then the song leads effortlessly into the finale, Perfect Love Song, which showcases some more great Hackett soloing. This is very much his thing. And then we have Hackett and Squire multi-tracking the vocals, and for some reason it reminded me of Phil Mance's recent 6pm album. I don't know why. Not in terms of melody, it was just a sound to it that reminded me. And again, it's an accomplished piece of work, and it doesn't do anything to offend you, and ticks all the boxes in the right place if you're a Hackett fan. And the sad thing is it fades out. The album ends with a whimper rather than a bang, which is a shame. It kind of just wanders off. So, as an album, it's quite good. It's a little samey in places, but as I'm a Hackett fan, I'm a little biased, and I'm prepared to look the other way now and again. Now, I have two problems with it though. Firstly, it sounds too much like a Steve Hackett album. I know that's not a crime in itself, but when two big names come together, you expect something different. You expect one artist to be pulling the other in an opposite direction, so you end up with songs that you wouldn't necessarily expect to hear. Whereas in this, there are no real surprises. There's nothing really progressive or exciting about it. It's just a very solid album. But I'm not writing it off. I was expecting more input from Squire, or more songs in Squire's flavour. But when you hear this record, you'll agree it sounds more like a Hackett solo album. He was making more of the running, or at least making a lot of the sound decisions. My second problem is the stereo mix. To these ears, it sounds a little turgid and lacks some fizzle from the top end. At points, it really did sound like wax was being poured into my eardrums. The lack of higher frequencies, is forgivable on the 5.1 mix because the album sounds more natural in surround sound. The surround sound mix is very nice. Again, it does sound a bit boxy in places, and there are moments where the bass guitar dominates. It really goes. But hey, I'm not complaining. It's not Steven Wilson, is it? This is the problem. So yeah, the mix is a little bit iffy. Of course, it could be the ears I've got on. A different set of ears might disagree completely. The bottom line is that this is an interesting but safe record. I don't think it will appeal to Yes fans as much as it will appeal to Hackett / Genesis fans, but who knows. In terms of a rating, I'm going to give this a healthy 4 white Van Mans out of 5. That's 4 white Van Mans out of 5, though my preference, if I were to listen, would be for the 5.1 mix, because it just sounds a little bit more acceptable. Again, it's these ears are all wrong. And of course the deluxe version represents very good value. So if you've got a choice, or you've got access to a 5.1 surround sound speakers, buy the deluxe for the surround sound. Get it from Hackett. He might even sign it for you, like he did with mine. So that's it. My name's been Darren Locke. Hope you've enjoyed this review. Thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe, unsubscribe, kiss your granny. God save the Queen. That's it really. Check out social media below if you want to catch up with what's going on, because you can't always trust YouTube. And only more one thing. Look, these bloody teeth. Only one more thing left to say. Are you ready? Prog on.